Hello everyone, it's me from the future. So what you're about to see is a first impression review of the Nars Naturally Radiant Foundation, but being the genius I am, I started running into problems with this one pretty early on, but I never actually read how to apply it because I was like, I'm a makeup artist, I know how to apply foundation. This foundation has a very specific learning curve. It has a very specific method of application in that you have to use your fingers to apply this foundation. And I did not do that. I used a brush and I likely used way too much product. I am gonna try it again over the next couple of weeks with as much as I can out of the sample and give you guys a more fully fleshed out opinion later on. Do I think it's worth spending $49 for that kind of learning curve that you wouldn't really know about unless you looked at the how to apply tab on Sephora's website? No. That, and it claims to be medium buildable to full, but then right there on the website it says, you know, if you use too much of this foundation it will look heavy and cakey, so that seems kind of contradictory to me. I'm still going to show you guys this video because honestly I haven't had time to film another one or refilm this, and I wanted you guys to be able to see what happens when you go into this blind and you apply it as you would a normal foundation. Because I mean, to be honest, I think any good foundation worth its salt should really look perfectly fine regardless of the method in which you use to apply it. I mean, like I said, I'm going to keep testing it, and time will tell, and I'll let you guys know what I think later on. But in the meantime, let's get to the video. Not wearing false eyelashes right now. It feels weird. Hey everyone, it's me again and welcome to Faith's Feels. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my little corner of the internet. My name's Faith Grenade and I put makeup videos here on YouTube. And you should subscribe and hit the little bell icon down below. It will notify you every time I upload so you don't miss a minute of this riveting, exciting action. Today you've stumbled across Faith's Feels, which is usually my feels on a makeup product or on life in general. And today we're going to be trying out a very much kind of looked after foundation. This is a sample of it because your girl is not spending no $49 on no foundation that I might not like. But this is the Nars Natural Radiant Foundation. This is brand new from Nars. This just came out. I got the shade Deauville, which I believe matches me fairly well, but I'm on Sephora's website right now. Let's take a look. It says, Nars' first 16-hour foundation has a lightweight, breathable, fade-resistant formula and features medium to full buildable coverage in 33 skin-matching shades to fit all skin tones and undertones. We'll see about that. The transfer-resistant, sweat-resistant formula stays color-true all day and continues to look fresh and vibrant as if it was just applied. The formula features superior blendability for an imperceptible effect that looks natural like skin. It doesn't look or feel cakey, heavy, drying, or masking. A unique combination of translucent base with micronized amino acid coated pigments and mineral tone balancing powders mimics skin's tone, fusing with it for the closest match. Nars Skin Optimizing Complex, a blend of raspberry, apple, and watermelon extracts, helps support the skin's elastic fibers to smooth and improve skin's appearance over time for optimal radiance. Whoa. This is claiming to improve your skin over time. It's claiming to be long wearing, medium to full buildable coverage, but still look like skin. Lots of lofty claims. Raspberry, apple, and watermelon extracts, they might have some skin benefits for sure, but they're not really going to support the skin's elastic fibers because elastin, which is what I'm assuming they're talking about, is located in the dermal layer of the skin, not the epidermal layer where you're putting this on. So this is never going to penetrate down to the dermis, so I can already tell you that that claim is bunk. But we're going to go ahead and try this out. I am going to put this on the way I would put on any foundation, which is to say, I'm going to open it up. Okay, she didn't really give me much in the sample. Thank you, Sephora. But we're going to try, I'm going to start in my most pigmented areas and sort of work my way outward. Those of you who are new here, hey, hello, how are you? I have normal skin, which means that I am neither oily nor am I dry. I do get some dehydration from time to time. I have rosacea, which is a capillary skin condition around my nose. that is characterized by some redness. And I also have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation due to adult acne. So this is feeling pretty creamy. It doesn't feel like it's going to like set to the point where I feel like I can put this on most of my face and then blend it out. And then I'm going to take my Real Techniques buffing brush and I'm going to stipple that on. Ooh, okay. Oh. All right, Nars, I see you with this coverage. This foundation costs $49, which is on the high end side for sure. Like $50 with tax and or shipping, depending on where you get it from. That's a lot of money to be spending on a foundation. Like, especially when there's, you know, foundations out there that are less money that are perfectly decent. I'm not seeing any patchiness at all so far. It's blending quite smoothly and easily across my skin, and I didn't really use much. Like, I literally only used the amount that was in the lid of my sample container, so that was not that much at all, and it's really covering quite nicely. Pretty. It's a nice finish. So far, so good. It does look quite skin-like, which I enjoy. I'm not using a primer of any kind. I don't normally, just because I've never really had a primer do anything life-changing for me. The only things I have on my skin are my moisturizer and my sunscreen, because if a foundation can't sit well over my sunscreen, we're gonna have a problem. So that is one thin layer, and I can tell you right now, this is some coverage. I would say that this is a high medium, maybe even low full. Most of my redness is completely covered. I'm not even seeing a lot of my post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation down here. A lot of that's been covered up. This is really nice. Crap, I was hoping I wouldn't like this. Like, it does not feel heavy or cakey at all. It's looking really good so far. I am seeing a little bit of like patchiness over here, a little bit of texture. It doesn't look bad around my nose, but you know, it's around my nose is a bit of a troublesome area for me. There is a lot of redness there, there's a lot of texture, and that can be emphasized very easily. The area around my nose has looked much worse than this. I am gonna try and build this up a tiny bit. I don't really need to. I'd be perfectly happy with this level of coverage, but I am going to try to build it up just to see if that affects the appearance of it at all. I also do have sensitized skin, which means that my skin can be very reactive sometimes. It's kind of the nature of the rosacea beast. I'm not feeling any itching or burning or irritation at all, which is great. So there's it built up in some areas. I'm not seeing any major problems in terms of patchiness or not blending well. It is showing a little bit of texture around my nose again. That's something that happens with a lot of foundations for me because I have texture around my nose. I have rosacea. That's just the way my nose is. And again, this is not the worst my nose has ever looked. I'll get close up for you so you guys can see. You can see there's a little bit of heaviness, a little bit of texture going on around my nose that got a little bit worse when I built this up. But again, it's looked worse. I'm not mad at it. I can feel that this is setting, which is surprising to me because when I first put it on, it was very sort of wet and almost like a thin textured moisturizer. The shade match is exquisite for now. Deauville was a good call for me. I believe this is a little bit lower on the light side. They do say that this has 33 shades, which is an excellent shade range to start out with. Let's take a look at the shade disparities. It looks like it does get quite light, not like super porcelain pale, but decently up there. The deepest shade is Espresso, which it's deep. I don't know that I would call it the deepest of the deep, but it's not awful. I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on the shade range. There's a lot of range in the medium tones, so if you have a medium skin tone, you're probably going to find your shade in this. If you have a lighter skin tone, you'll probably find your shade in this. There's a little bit less diversity in terms of deep shades. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of heaviness and a little bit of texture in through here where I built that up. So that's good to note. But other than that, everything looks really good. My cheeks look very nice. Seeing a little bit of patchiness around the nose where I built it up. So this is probably a one coat foundation. So in terms of the claim that it's buildable, I don't know so much about that. I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me powder for this because this powder, well, one, I use it all the time, and two, it looks very skin-like. I'm just going to take a big old bronzer brush, swirl a tiny bit of this because I do tend to get oil on my T-zone throughout the day, just like any red-blooded human that is under the age of 45. So I'm going to go ahead and tap through where I tend to get oily. I do set with powder. I do use a setting spray because that's what I would normally do on any makeup day. I know that my skin can get oily from time to time, so I like to give this the best chance possible. I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror here real close. It's a little heavy around the nose, but it doesn't look bad. Like when you get real up close, it's looking a little bit heavy in the nose area, a little textured. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on camera, but I do see my nose pores just a teeny tiny bit. Now again, I try to give foundations the benefit of the doubt with regard to that because my skin just by nature is textured in that area. So I've never really had a foundation that didn't show texture there. Just because if you have texture, it's gonna be there no matter what you do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face makeup, and then I'll be back to let you guys know how everything put on. See you soon. Okay, and we are back. Makeup is on. I'll just go over everything I used real quick. Blush and bronzer were Physicians Formula as always. I've been digging those lately. Highlight was actually a mix today. I used a mixture of the Becca Light Chaser highlighter for face and eyes in the shade Champagne Dream Flashes Bellini. Really pretty sort of pink reflect on that one. Those were on sale at Sephora, so they're probably discontinuing them. But then I also used a little bit of the Balm Mary Luminizer over the top just for some extra bling. I did set my face with Urban Decay All Nighter. Just the normal, usual suspects, nothing too crazy. But yeah, oh, and then the lip I'm really excited about because this is a Smashbox Always On liquid lipstick, and I adored this formula when I tested it ages ago, but they didn't have a black and they came out with a black. So this is their black. This is in the shade, what is it called? Tar Pit. Back to the foundation, we have had some settling into some lines. Specifically on my forehead. You can't really see it because I actually blended it out earlier, but you can kind of see there. There's definitely some settling into my lines, and there's a little bit on this side too, and I didn't really apply much foundation, which tells me that this foundation is going to settle, it's going to move. So if you have oily skin or normal to oily skin, or even normal skin like I do, but you have expression lines, which I feel like everybody does, you are going to have to set this, and you're going to have to set it a decent amount in order for it not to move, because in my mind right now, like, I really feel like this is going to start moving pretty quickly. Y'all know how these first impressions usually work with me. I don't like to give my final verdict on a product until I've used it extensively, so regardless of how the wear test today goes, I'm gonna go ahead and keep using this over the next, few times I do my makeup and try it with different powders, try it with different products and see what works the best. In terms of appearance of my makeup, it looks really nice. I'm happy with the way my complexion looks. You know, like I said, little texture around the nose, but nothing out of the ordinary. It doesn't look awful. I would say it looks on the better side in terms of foundations I've tried. And most importantly, what I'm probably most impressed with is this is airlight. I mean, this is extremely lightweight. It hardly feels like I'm wearing anything at all. It's really sort of, you know, they claim that it's skin-like, and I would say it's pretty close to being like skin. But everything smoothed out very easily over top of it. Everything blended pretty easily. I didn't have any problems in terms of complexion makeup. But it's about 12:21 right now. I'm going to say that the foundation application ended at around noon, just to call it even, because it took me about 20 minutes to do my face and my lips. So yeah, we'll say that noon is the check-in time. I'm going to wear this as long as I possibly can until either I'm ready to wash my makeup off and go to bed, or it just is fucked beyond repair and I have to remove it. So, yeah, that's about it for now, and I will check in with you guys in a few hours. Hey guys, I'm back for the first check-in, and it's looking rough, I'm not gonna lie. I did change my lip color. I'm wearing one of the Sephora hashtag Lip Stories lipsticks. They're cream lipsticks that have different sort of packaging on the outside. I thought the packaging was cute, and I've been wanting to get back into using cream lipsticks because I haven't used them in forever. I normally prefer liquid lips, but I also know liquid lipsticks make my mouth look like a butthole. So, this is the shade Wanderlust. And I'm not even wearing a lip liner with it, and it's completely opaque, not streaky, totally looking cool. Guys, I don't know, it's looking shiny. I mean, I'm not even super oily, like I don't tend to get super oily throughout the day, but you can see I am full on shiny at this point. Like, on my forehead, on the sides of my nose, and on my chin is quite a bit shinier than it was. Which is making the texture on the sides of my nose a little bit more apparent. This also settles into fine lines like nobody's business. It's been all through my forehead wrinkles from hour one. It's been in my one parenthesis over here. I had to kind of blend that out, so now it looks like there's no foundation there. And it's generally oily everywhere else. I just, you know, I feel oily, and when I touch my face, foundation transfers onto my fingers. So I'd say the long wear claim on this is not really legit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna powder with a more setting style powder. This is Coty Airspun, and if this doesn't work, nothing will. So I'm gonna tap my brush into this, and I'm gonna powder just on those areas that I'm getting oily. Yeah, bare minimum, you're looking at definitely hard setting this, maybe even having to bake it in order for it to last. And the more powder you put on a foundation, the more textured and cakey it's going to look. You can see on the sides of my nose already I'm getting a decent amount of texture here from having to powder this over and over and over again. 3-hour mark, you know, generally speaking, if I'm looking for something long wearing, having to powder around the 3-hour mark is not a good sign. I don't even have to do that with the IT Cosmetics CC cream. So to see this, you know, getting shiny and gathering in my face creases, I mean, everybody has, you know, creases and lines and stuff on their face, and you can see there's some patchiness there and just general kind of odd lookingness. But again, that could just be the, you know, powder I used initially. It could be anything. So I'm gonna keep on wearing it, but I don't know. I tend not to like foundations that claim that they're long wearing and then you end up having to powder at the 3-hour mark. It's a little weird. Hey guys, it's not quite 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here because I think I've gotten a pretty good idea of how things are going. I'm torn on this one. I'm really torn on this one. When this foundation first went on, it looked beautiful. I'm talking, you know, medium to full coverage, totally smooth skin-like finish, looked airbrushed and gorgeous, and I loved it, but it's, so within the first hour, it started settling into my, you know, expression lines, my forehead lines and my parentheses over here, which literally every single adult has. That's a huge deal breaker for me because that tells me that a foundation is going to move. It's not going to last. I have normal skin, guys. I don't have oily skin, okay? And I blotted just now, so this is post-blotting. But when I blotted, here, we'll have my lovely assistant hold the...
Hello!
This is a paper napkin. This isn't even a blotting sheet.
I don't know if the light...
Yeah, you can see it.
I can't.
See those shadows there? That's oil that I blotted off of myself.
With a napkin, it's not even blotting paper.
With a napkin. This isn't even blotting paper. Normally, if you blotted yourself with a paper napkin, it would not show up on the napkin. The fact that it shows up and shows up to that degree, holy shit, that's a lot of sebum. I touched right here because it was showing a little bit of texture and like all of that foundation came off. And I'll just touch over here too. And it just transfers so easily and moves around so easily. It still looks okay, but I don't want to have to constantly be worrying about, you know, taking off my shirt a certain way so it doesn't transfer, or hugging somebody so it doesn't transfer. I mean, this stuff moves around like crazy. I'm willing to give it another chance because it did look beautiful at first. But for $49, guys, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Would I recommend this? I don't know. And I'm gonna have to try it a few more times and really develop my thoughts on it because there are things I really, really like about this foundation, but there's a couple of things that I really don't. And the couple of things that I really don't like are kind of major and they're kind of deal breakers. 16-hour wear, this is the 7.5 hour mark, and my skin, you know, my foundation it doesn't look bad, but it's like rubbing off and melting off and kind of transferring everywhere. And it's looked textured around my nose pretty much the entire day. And considering it was settling into my lines on hour 3, I'm not thinking that this would last another 8 hours. I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, or entertaining. If you did, there's a button for that. Spank that like button in the butt. You know it deserves it. And if you want to see more from me, got a couple options now. You can click the videos on either side of my head to binge if you're bored or bummed out. Or hey, you can hit that button that looks like my face and subscribe and become a member of the faithful today. I put out new videos every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today. And I will see you in the next video. Toodles!